I have a little boat envy on the 1295. We're with Lucy from Dunbar Yachts to go inside and talk a little bit about what sets this boat apart. When you think of the 1295, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I think about the choice in where you're going to helm. So you've got a really vast space up on the flybridge,
yep.
And it's a space where you've actually got the space for entertaining. You can have guests, you can have friends around, you can have family, and people can be relaxing up there as much as they are the captain of the boat. Equally, if you want to be down and you want to be in the interior, you've got a really comfortable seat. You really feel like you're the king of the boating world when you're sat on that extra large helm seat. And then you've got that wraparound space, a U-shaped seating space for all of your guests as well.
Stick around as Lucy and I talk about some of the features and what to look for if you're looking at a 1295. Lucy, if you had one word to sum up the 1295, what's the word?
Vast.
Vast. All right, let's check it out. We're on board the 1295 from Lucy from Dunbar Yachts. I'm Dave. This is Echo Zulu Cruising. I'm a former 100-ton U.S. Coast Guard license holder and a proud owner of a Jeanneau 1095. Today we're going to talk about the 1295. Lucy helped us pick out our 1095 and some of the features on that. That perspective, that advice on what to look for is really helpful. So I've appreciated that. What are the main features and what's the main reason someone would look at a boat like the 1295?
Well, I think you have a huge amount of livable space on this boat. You've got both interior living and you've also got that excellent large flybridge.
Yep.
So when we're thinking about that, we're also thinking about those spaces and where you might wish to do your entertaining, where you might wish to do your helming, and it really expands how far and what kind of boating you can do because you are protected from the elements down here. Yep. You can also enjoy a sunny day, and everybody can be part of the experience and part of the party. So things that I would really think about is what you're going to do in the cockpit area.
Yep.
You've got a number of different options for sun awning there, whether you want to have a fixed one, a retractable one, whether it might work for you if you enclose that space and had a closing kit. The other thing to think about is you've got great table options out there as well. Whether you want to have a table that is telescopic and means it can turn into a sun pad, whether you think you've got that great lounging space at the bow, so you might prefer to have a table that's removable that you could stow.
Right.
So those are some of the big things I would think about. In terms of the interior, you've got choices in terms of fabric for your seats. There's choices for things like carpets, whether you're somebody that likes that sensation of carpet, whether you like it in the cabins, but maybe not so much up here. So those are choices that you can make. I think one of the biggest choices that people contemplate is whether you would like to have a SeaKeeper on a boat like this.
Yeah.
It's the largest boat that we have within our portfolio at Jeanneau in the powerboat range. We are getting a lot of interest and inquiries from people that do want to have SeaKeeper options. But of course, that does come with a price tag. You know, they range from over $70,000 to add the SeaKeeper option.
Okay.
So you need to think about whether that's something that is going to increase your enjoyment of using the boat.
Is the joystick standard on it, or is that something that you always order, kind of with the joystick docking?
So the joystick is an option. We typically order that when we order a stock boat. Most of our customers really enjoy the use of the joystick. Even if you're a seasoned boater, I think you can get a lot of benefits from a joystick. And we've found that maybe the less seasoned boaters in people's parties actually get confidence to take the helm when otherwise maybe they wouldn't do so because the joystick is so intuitive to use.
I've still never used a joystick. I've played with it away from the dock, but I've never docked with one, so I need to do that someday.
All right, then we need to change that. I need to get you out on a joystick bay. I can do that.
What are the uses that people have been looking at the 1295, kind of the people that have been taking a look at it? What are they thinking they're contemplating doing with the boat?
So we have a lot of people in our area that are thinking about going up and down the ICW.
Right.
We've got people that want to spend some time in the Bahamas, so want a boat that they feel would be comfortable when they're doing that crossing and that they would want to spend some time on board. So accommodation is really important. Do they have a berth that they feel comfortable in? Will they feel comfortable sleeping there? Is it inviting? Do they have space to store everything that they would want for spending longer time on board? And do they have accommodation for their guests that they think that they will appreciate? And of course, the benefit of this boat is it really is a true 3-cabin boat.
on the Flybridge, there's several options in terms of layout and features on there. Kind of what are the features that people are looking at on the Flybridge?
I think the thing that's most exciting is basically being able to grill up there. So sitting up there and using that as a really good entertaining point with all that visibility, having the benefit of a bimini as well up there is great. The fact that we've got a collapsible bimini is really useful for a lot of folks traveling up and down the East Coast because you've got the ability to reduce your height, which means that you're able to go more places.
What's the biggest difference between the 10.95 Fly and the 12.95 Fly in terms of those exterior spaces kind of and the two helms? Kind of how do you see those two different?
I think that you do have more space up there. As we spoke about the grille, that's an added feature that we've got on the 12.95. Down here, I think at the bow where you've got a true space for 3 people to sit, you've got the option of having a bow table as well up there. You've really extended your choices of exterior living.
And you talked some about the options with the awnings in the cockpit. Are there other cockpit features to think about that people should be aware of?
One of the things that sets this boat apart is it has both a sideboarding gate and it has that huge terrace.
Yep.
And that terrace is amazing because as well as if you want to have guide poles up there to stop people falling in, you've also got a ladder as well. So the benefit of that is that people can just come and swim and use the water and then not be climbing out near to the engines. Right. It's a really great space for people that really like water sports and want to be in the water.
Kind of what are the things, the features that you say, if we're going to sell this, this is kind of the minimum that we want to make sure is on board?
For us, it's very rare for somebody not to take a generator on a boat. I think the people that don't do that will find that their experiences on the boat are more restricted. What a generator does is it just allows you to be out more times than otherwise you might feel comfortable because you can just prolong your battery use. You can use things like the air conditioning for longer periods. You can use that while you're underway. So you can just feel more comfortable if you've got a generator on board. For us as well, people always take the air conditioning option on any of our boats. It does just get hot down here. There's no way around it. And being able to have the air conditioning on while you're underway is a really nice, comfortable feature.
And if someone's moving up from, say, a center console and they're comfortable with a 30-foot center console and they're comfortable boating, but they're moving to one of the NC kind of line, what are the pieces of advice you give to someone that's moving up from, they've been boating but kind of day boating to something that has that cabin? Kind of what are the things that someone that's new to that should think about or look at?
I think people that are moving towards that are going to really appreciate the lack of having to deal with things like canvas. So being in a protected cabin when you get that rainstorm is so lovely.
Right.
If you, if you've spent longer on the water and you're tired at the end of the day, just shutting the door and leaving the boat and going to do whatever you want, be it getting dinner or sorting out the kids because they're cranky, that is a really nice experience. Whereas on a center console, you are always out there in the elements. And there's times when that is great, but the benefit of these boats are that you can have that protection and you can pick a day which is maybe a bit changeable and still really enjoy your time on the water.
What are the key features you think of the Galley on the 12.95?
One of the things that I really like about the Galley is the stove and the oven. You have got more cooking potential there. If you're somebody that likes to cook on board, you just have more ability to do so with the way that you've got that oven and the stovetop option. We've also added an awful lot of refrigeration to this boat, which is great. Yeah. You've got those easy slide out drawers. You've got a lot of space in those. They're very easy as well to use and to find what you're looking for in those drawers as well. I think that's really helpful. We've got great storage that's down below and low. People like to have low down storage, and then we've got that excellent storage as well that you can see wrapping around both port and starboard of the Galley that really isn't obstructing your view. So you can still look out the window, you can enjoy being at the Galley and being the chef on board and have a great view while you're doing it.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time and hope see you on the water.
See you on the water.
That's cheesy, but
see you at the dock.
See you at the dock. See you at the dock.